Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. So far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing of the week being Hexagenia limbata, better known as the giant mayfly, the golden mayfly, the big Michigan mayfly, and the great leadwing drake. It is the most widely distributed mayfly in North America, being found throughout much of Canada and the United States, with the exception of Arizona, New Mexico, Alaska, the Yukon, Nunavut, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Here, the giant mayfly tends to inhabit ponds, lakes, and slow-moving rivers with muddy bottoms in which the nymphs can burrow. Adults can be found congregating in swarms near the water or resting in vegetation. As adults, giant mayflies reach up to 1.1 inches or 27 millimeters in length, with females being slightly larger than males. However, males have larger eyes. The forewings are long and membranous, while the hind wings are much smaller and have dark margins. The tip of the abdomen bears two long cerci or tails, and the color and body markings are somewhat variable, but are usually some shade of yellow, pale brown, or white. Breeding typically occurs throughout summer in mass congregations numbering in the thousands. During such time, females lay large quantities of eggs which sink to the bottom. They may hatch fairly soon, but may overwinter as eggs and then hatch in the spring. The newly hatched nymph is about 1 millimeter or 0.04 inches long. It has a long, roughly cylindrical body and passes through up to 30 molts during its development. It has tusks on its mandibles, which it can dig, and 3 pairs of legs, as well as developing wing pads in later growth stages and 3 elongated tails. It lives in a U-shaped burrow which excavates in the mud, feeding upon detritus and algae. They will spend up to 2 years as nymphs before entering the subamigo stage, which is similar in appearance to adults, and then heads towards the surface. After 3 days in this stage, the giant mayflies molt one final time and become their sexually mature adult form, the amigo. As adults, giant mayflies do not have functioning mouthparts and cannot eat. Their sole goal is to mate as much as possible before perishing some 48 hours later. Next up is Bombus lipidarius, better known as the red-tailed bumblebee or the ruby-tailed bumblebee. It is a species of bumblebee in the subgenus Melanobombus, which is found throughout Europe, including the British Isles. Here they can be found throughout forests, grasslands, heathlands, wetlands, agricultural lands, coastlands, and alpine regions. And like other bee species, they are pollinators, which feed upon nectar and pollen and a wide variety of plants. And they are one of the few pollinators of several species of Viscaria. While still considered to be social bees, the red-tailed bumblebees do not typically form extensive or complex colonies, instead living in smaller, less organized colonies of 100 to 300 individuals, which create popcorn-like nests using wax and materials like dry grass or moss, typically inside abandoned burrows, wall crevices, hay bales, compost heaps, rock crags, or fallen logs. Colonies are initiated via the queen, where workers and males follow roles that keep the colony thriving. Though there is a hierarchy between the queen and the rest of the colony, there does not appear to be a hierarchy amongst the workers themselves. The red-tailed bumblebee is typically distinguished by its black body with red markings around the abdomen. Worker females and the queen look similar, though the queen is much larger than the worker females. Males typically have a red and black coloration with a yellow band around the abdomen and yellow markings on the face. Queens emerge in spring and spend several days gathering nectar and creating the first few chambers of a nest where she will lay her eggs and produce the first batch of workers, which after hatching, the workers take over most of the food collecting and nest building duties, whilst the queen focuses mainly on laying more eggs and caring for the young. Come late summer and fall, the queen then specifically starts producing males and potential queens, which will leave the nest once mature to breed and start their own colonies. Come winter, Throughout much of their range, the new queens survive via deep hibernation, whilst the workers, drones, and elder queens slowly but surely succumb to the elements. Next up is Corydarium magnifica, better known as the magnificent emerald cockroach, or simply the emerald cockroach. It is a species of cockroach native to the jungles, forests, and woodlands throughout Vietnam and southern China. These diurnal and largely arboreal insects spend their days searching for food, such as lichen, fruit, and pollen, whilst hiding underneath or behind leaves at night. Emerald cockroaches are themselves eaten by a variety of spiders, mantids, wasps, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and small mammals. Like other cockroaches, they are a moderately social species, which can be found both foraging alone or resting in groups of often dozens and occasionally upwards of 50 individuals. Reaching up to 1.18 inches or 3 centimeters in length, female emerald cockroaches are typically heavier and whiter than males, which are easily distinguished by their more elongated, thinner bodies and the presence of dark green to black wings, which are primarily used for gliding. Mating may occur year-round, and this species is ovoviviparous. The mothers will give birth to up to 12 young after an up to 6-month gestation period. The emerald cockroach is one of the few roach species that exhibits extensive parental behaviors, and the females will carry their brood on their underside until the babies have gone through 1 or 2 molts, and even after growing, the juveniles can often be found hiding beneath the adults. Emerald cockroaches can be very slow growers, taking 6 to 9 months to reach maturity. Under ideal conditions, a male emerald cockroach may live 12 to 14 months, whilst females may live upwards of 2.5 years. Next up is Dorylus grebodoi, better known as the West African army ant or the West African driver ant. It is a species of driver ant native to the rainforest, temperate forest, and savanna woodland mosaics throughout West Africa, from Guinea and Liberia to Cameroon. Living in colonies of up to 20 million individuals, like other ants in the Dorylus genus, West African driver ants are characterized by a nomadic existence, alternating with quiet stationary periods. As for part of the year, they build nests inside of underground cavities, spending their time gathering and storing food, such as worms, grubs, termites, and occasional leaf litter, as well as focusing on egg incubation and raising of larvae, slowly but steadily increasing their population and overall health and fitness of the colony. However, when local resources inevitably run dry, the entire colony of West African driver ants will gather together and travel as one long column in search of food, chiefly worms and other insects. However, they are known to kill and strip the flesh off of prey up to the size of small mammals and birds. Said columns will also fiercely defend themselves against anything that attacks them. The columns are arranged with the smaller ants being flanked by the larger soldier ants. The bite of a soldier ant is severely painful, and each soldier leaving 2 puncture wounds when removed. Removal is difficult, however, as the jaws are extremely strong and will hold tight even after death. It is because of this West African driver ants are used as natural sutures by indigenous peoples of the region. Like other ants, the colony of West African driver ants consists of a caste system, which includes worker ants, which primarily serve to care for the young, care for the infirm, and care for the queen, as well as to build and maintain the colony. Next are the soldier castes, which are larger and primarily serve to both hunt for food and defend the colony from threats, and whilst marching in columns often carry the queen and worker ants across great distances. Then there is the queen, which measuring in around 1.5 to 2.4 inches or 40 to 63 centimeters in length, are amongst the largest ants known. Her role is to lay eggs and command the rest of the colony using pheromones. Lastly, during the mating season, winged drones are produced. These fertile males' sole goal is to leave the colony and find different colonies queens to mate with, then proceed to mate with her until they die of exhaustion, typically living only a few days to weeks. Under ideal conditions, a worker driver ant or soldier driver ant may live several months, and a queen West African driver ant may live up to 10 years. Next up is Chrysoperla carnea, better known as the common green lacewing. It is a species of lacewing insect in the Chrysopidae family, which is endemic to Europe. Here they can be found from as far west as the British Isles to as far east as central Russia, and from as far north as Fennoscandia to as far south as Italy, Spain, and Greece. Here they tend to inhabit woodlands, grasslands, gardens, and agricultural lands. As adults, common green lacewings are most active at night, whilst the larvae are active most hours of the day. Reach around 0.5 to 0.75 inches or 1.27 to 1.91 centimeters in length. The adults are green in color with long thread-like antennae and glossy golden compound eyes. They have a delicate appearance and sport large, membranous, pale green wings, which they fold tintwise above their abdomens. The larvae reach up to 0.33 inches or 0.84 centimeters in length and have a brown, spindle-shaped body with prominent pincer-like mouthparts, resembling tiny alligators. The green lacewing adults overwinter buried in leaf litter, emerging when the weather warms up in spring. After mating, each female lacewing lays several hundred small eggs, choosing concealed spots underneath leaves or in shoots near potential prey. The larvae hatch in 3 to 6 days and eat voraciously, feeding upon various prey, particularly aphids, as well as caterpillars and other insects. They molt 3 times as they grow, and after 2 to 3 weeks, the mature larvae secrete silk and build around parchment-like cocoons in concealed positions on plants. From these, the adults emerge 11 to 13 days later. In contrast to the predatory larvae, the adults are vegetarian, feeding upon pollen and honeydew. Under ideal conditions, an adult common green lacewing may live several months. Next up, we have Papilio dardanus, better known as the Saharan swallowtail, the African swallowtail, the mocker swallowtail, or the flying handkerchief. It is a species of butterfly in the family Papilionidae, which is broadly distributed throughout sub-Saharan Africa, including Madagascar and the Comoros Islands. Here it can typically be found in both dry forests and rainforests, as well as orchards, gardens, and agricultural land. The caterpillars are dark green in base color and are adorned with large white spots. They also sport a gland behind the head that extends when in danger and looks like 2 long orange-red horns. Said caterpillars feed on a variety of host plants, including Fagara, Teclia, Vipris, Todiadalia, Calodendron, Citrus, Clausina, and Zymalos. The adults drink nectar from various plants and are notable for their puddling behavior, where they frequent drying puddles to extract nutrients and minerals from the damp soil. Mocker swallowtail butterflies are themselves preyed upon by mantises, ants, rodents, birds, spiders, and lizards. Mocker swallowtail butterflies have notable sexual dimorphism. Males average around 4 to 4.7 inches or 101.6 to 119.4 millimeters in wingspan and are pale yellow in coloration with black margins or brown on the underside and sport long tails behind their wings. Females, on the other hand, are highly variable in appearance, sporting at least 14 different morphs. This is because the females evolved a specialized form of Bayesian mimicry, where each different morph or subspecies looks like a different species of poisonous butterfly in the genus Dianidae. It should be noted that mocker swallowtails are themselves not poisonous. Notably, in some cases, such as populations in Madagascar, Ethiopia, Somalia, and the Comoros, females have instead evolved to look like mirror images of their male counterparts. The morphs are divided into three general groups based on patterning: the Hippocoon group, the Sania group, and the Plain Modeste group. The Hippocone group holds the largest amount of morphs, and the phenotypes in this group are characterized by four bands alternating black and color patterns. Within the Sienna group, patterns are generally dominated by black coloration and contain small splotches of color. In the Plain Modeste group, they have black bands surrounding the outside of the wing with large splotch of color through the middle of the wing. This group also contains the female morphs that are male-like mimics. Because of this diversity, female mocker swallowtails also range considerably in size, from 3.5 to 5 inches, or 88.9 to 127 millimeters in length. Breeding may occur year-round, with females laying 30 to 50 eggs per day. Under ideal conditions, a mocker swallowtail butterfly may live up to a year in total. And last but not least, we have Giganthelli gigas, better known as the giant Japanese funnel-web spider, or the Japanese funnel-web spider, or the Japanese funnel-web. It is a species of funnel-web spider in the family Macrotheliidae. As their name suggests, they are endemic to the Ryukyu Islands of Japan. Here they tend to inhabit moist, broadleaf subtropical forests and shrublands. These typically ground-dwelling species spend much of their time in and around their large funnel-shaped webs, hence their common name. When potential prey, such as insects, land snails, millipedes, lizards, frogs, or rodents, walk across the web, the spider rushes out, subduing their prey by injecting their venom. Said venom is highly potent and in humans is known to cause unnatural amounts of perspiration, goosebumps, hypertension, and tachycardia. Reaching around 4.5 to 6 inches or 11.4 to 15.2 centimeters in total length, it is one of the largest species of funnel webs. Whilst both sexes sport a notably sleek and somewhat glossy black coloration, there is also some notable sexual dimorphism, with males sporting longer, thinner legs, whilst females have larger, more rounded abdomens. The chelicerae may be a dark brown to red in coloration, and they sport long, robust fangs. Little is known about the breeding habits or life cycle of this species. As always, take care of my guys, gals, non-binary pals. Hope you all have a wonderful day.